Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Above and beyond that, make sure you join us in the Discord server. It's the place that we go to first to notify you of the ins and the outs of everything that is going on in the crypto space. It is free, so why not check it out? Linked in the description down below. Okay, let's make a little start here with XRP. Okay, we are actually in a position where we can see two different things occurring. So I'm going to run you through what this looks like. So again, kind of trading sideways. We kind of have our upper area here set at 41.91. 41 cent 0.94 in fact, and then the lower end down here at 37.3. okay, so these two dashed lines. I'm going to remove this one in the middle so it makes it a little bit easier to see. You kind of have these two lines. Now with this you can see there's an ABC structure, three waves coming down and three waves coming up back up into the supply area just at the top here. Okay, we got rejected. Now looking at this, we kind of have a couple of options. Okay, we can kind of say, okay, well maybe we're going to be moving down. If I can find, yeah, right there. And we might be moving down towards this low area of about 37.01, okay, and it could be an A, B, C structure like this, A, B, and C. Now this would obviously break this lower line at 37.30, okay, so essentially that is your option number one. I'm going to go quickly, just put a little label right on it here, so you can kind of see that that is your first kind of option. Okay, and essentially that would be pretty neat because it would allow us to look at it like this and would be a kind of ABC structure. Now, if I do measure this from our low to our high, and we move this over to our bounce, which was over here, it will actually take us down to 36.61. So again, I'll put a little label down here. This would basically mean that we're likely to range somewhere between these two numbers if this scenario plays out, between 36.61 and 37.01. So if I remove that, you can kind of see those. Now, on the flip of this, though, there is one bullish scenario, and that is that we have 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, and actually this here is the turning point, and we're going to be entering back up into the supply zone just there. Okay, this option is basically an A up here, B down to this low point, and then up into this range. And if I go ahead and measure the distance on this one, pull it over to our recent local low point, and you can see right there 42.36 cent, and I'll go ahead and mark that up as well right in there. Remove our fib. So we end up with these kind of options. I'm going to remove this one just because it's cluttering up the charts a little bit, and you kind of see that there's two areas here that we're going to. Now potentially you can see now we're ranging going sideways again in this little market just here. Okay, you can kind of see that we're bouncing between these two key areas. Okay, so each of these options is a breakout or a breakdown from this particular area. And when you complete one, the opposite will happen. So let me explain that. Okay, so when we complete up here, we will actually fall back down. Okay, so although this breaks out of this ranging area, it isn't actually positive because you're going to break on down back into this ranging area, and it could be anything. We don't know what that would look like because this would be an end of structure. Could just be 3 waves down, could be 5 waves down, it could be anything at that point. Okay, likewise, when we break down here, we break out of this area by going down lower, we're going to come up. Okay, so when one of these happens, we have choices. Okay, so it doesn't really matter so much which option happens. Anything we need to do is we need to have a plan for when one of these things does actually occur. So when we're at the upper end here, we would want to short that market. Okay, we want to bring that price of XRP into the range again. And likewise, if we break down and we go down lower than this dash line at 37.30, then we want to go long because that price is going to go up. Okay, so knowing or having a plan when one of these things happens is going to be really important, specifically when you have a wave counts that can go in either direction. It's very, very difficult to get a good steer on what is the most likely. So let's go ahead and actually talk about the momentum behind the price action. Okay, so right now on the hourly chart, we're oversold, meaning that there's probably going to be a push to the upside. You can kind of see that here on the 1 hour. The 8 hours also oversold. The daily is overbought though. And if we do come up into our 4 hourly chart, you can see that we're nice and low as well. This basically is telling me that we have a pretty interesting chance that we might be pushing up to the 42.36, meaning that there's left definitely momentum to the upside here on this smaller time frame. So we might be breaking out and to the upside before we actually come on down. So just kind of keep that in mind. Although the wave counts are saying that there's two possibilities, the momentum indicator is telling us that there's a higher probability that the price moves up rather than moving down. But we'll see how that actually translates into price movements over the next few hours. But for now, that's kind of where those expectations sit. Now, if we go up into the larger time frames, such as the daily chart, well, we can see that we're pretty clearly going to be in need of a move to the downside. This hasn't really changed, and we are still kind of talking about that 26-cent range. So for the most part, we do still expect further downside for XRP. That hasn't changed. And as you can kind of see, if I zoom out far enough on here, get rid of the stochastic RSI, you can see how we've been testing this trend line. And, essentially we might retest at some point and then move down and continue into those lows. Now, 26-cent is the first area that I have mapped out here, but it's not necessarily going to be the actual bottom of any particular market. We have got a lot further potential to the downside, such as 17-cent, 10-cent, and all these other kind of numbers. They haven't got any structure towards those yet, but, it's one of those things that we keep an eye on just in case. So for the most part, I just want to kind of reiterate that the market during these weekends, they usually have a low volume and are usually quite slow, meaning that momentum indicators are all over the place. They change from overbought to oversold and overbought to oversold, oversold to overbought, and so forth. So just be a little bit aware that the market can move in really, really slow sideways movements whilst correcting itself. So just be really, really cautious on that. But essentially, as long as we have a plan for which one of these options plays out, we should be in a reasonably good position for XRP. I'm going to leave this video right there, but do join us down in the Discord server. We can continue the conversation down there. And if you have found it useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one.